a consistent pattern of evil. There is no denying the shattering truth that many, if not most, gurus who came to the West promoting enlightenment through yoga and publicly claiming to be celibates have carried on secret sex lives that could only be described as a manifestation of powerful and seemingly irresistible evil. Behind the facade and hidden from the public, Muktananda, like Yogi Bhajan and so many others, was a sexual predator who satisfied his lust on young girls and others who came to his ashrams and trusted him as a god. This was often done under the guise of initiating his victims into tantric or sexual yoga. Highly revered Mahatma Gandhi satisfied his sexual perversion by giving enemas every morning to the young women in his ashram. Although claiming to deny any desire for material things, the wealth various gurus have amassed in the West is enormous. Underneath it all, what could be the source of this consistent pattern of wickedness except the serpentine kundalini power, which is the treasured prize the yogis seek? Baba called his method for awakening the kundalini Siddha Yoga, the name of the yoga organization he started in 1961. Quote, "The aim of Siddha Yoga is to help every human being realize and experience that they and all other humans have an inner self which is perfect and divine, in other words, to realize that one is God, and that a reachable goal is the end of human suffering and the attainment of supreme bliss, through yoga, of course." End of quote. Here we have another echo from the mouth of the serpent himself. If one puts, quote, "leaving Siddha Yoga," end quote, into Google, nearly 36,000 responses appear. These are mostly the scandalous and tragic stories of former disciples of Muktananda who report, quote, "sexual abuse by him and other Siddha Yoga leaders, such as Yogi Bhajan," end quote. Those posting the stories have done so in order to show beyond dispute that Siddha Yoga ultimately wields an evil influence in the lives of all who practice it. And yet the seduction continues unabated. In fact, it grows worldwide. In spite of the testimonies of so many former devotees of various gurus about the evil behind the popular yogis and their organizations, almost all of today's Johnny-come-lately yoga enthusiasts refuse to believe the truth or simply don't care because they are so sure that they are being helped emotionally, physically, or spiritually by the yoga they practice. But that was also true at one time, for some of them for many years, of those who have had their eyes opened and now testify of the evil in yoga as they attempt to rescue others. Yoga opens the door not to true enlightenment, but to demonic seduction of mankind. And in spite of the literally hundreds of exposés by those who have experienced the evil firsthand and barely escaped, yoga is gaining adherents among Christians and is being practiced in a growing number of churches, including those that claim to be evangelical. Christian leaders have naively encouraged this deadly practice. Robert Schuller was one of the first to give it his endorsement. Quote, "A variety of approaches to meditation is employed by many different religions as well as by various non-religious mind control systems. In all forms, TM, Zen Buddhism, or yoga, the meditator endeavors to overcome the conscious mind. It is important to remember that meditation in any form is the harnessing, by human means, of God's divine laws. Transcendental meditation, or TM, is not a religion, nor is it necessarily anti-Christian," end of quote. Like so many other church leaders today, Schuller has abandoned the clear teaching of Christ in his Word and advocates any religion that pretends to be positive, an idea that has drawn multitudes of Christians into yoga. No matter what the various schools and forms of yoga being practiced in the West, however, there is no mistaking that if one is interested in true yoga, one must be willing to have that terrifying kundalini aroused. What is this serpentine power that allegedly lies coiled at the base of the spine? We turn to that next.